have a few attendees that are joining, so let's just give it another minute or so and let everyone get logged on.
All right, Mike, it looks like we have the last few there that just came on, so take it away.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Donkels. I am the National Accounts Manager here at Informed Decisions, and I would like to start by thanking you all for attending today's webinar called Get Rescued, the top 5 reasons you should consider migrating from your current IBMi document management solution and learn the benefits of transitioning to iDocs. We'll start with a little history of Informed Decisions and give a brief overview of our solutions. Informed Decisions was founded in 1994. We specialize in IBMi native document management and business process automation solutions that have been implemented worldwide from SMB environments to Fortune 100 organizations. Informed Decisions has always been committed to playing a major role in delivering the promise of a paperless office by offering solutions that rein in runaway forms and get document workflow streamlined and cost-effective. Our product line includes variable data laser form and microcheck printing, IBMi spool file report bursting, intelligent document distribution via email and fax, along with document scanning, which is also known as capture, storage, workflow, and more. Okay, so let's start looking at some of these reasons here. Reason number 1, no new updates to your current software and no new enhancements. Many vendors are still using old, outdated technology and not keeping up with recent advancements in technology to streamline the flow of your business processes. Okay, let's get to reason number 2. Doesn't work with newer OS levels, for example. Again, for obvious reasons, it's very important that document management vendors keep up with the latest and greatest technologies being offered in the most recent OS versions. Informed Decisions is committed to this while maintaining back-level support for down-level versions as well. Okay, reason number 3, lack of a commitment to the platform. You've invested heavily into your IBMi system, from hardware to software to the people that manage it. The last thing an IBMi shop wants to hear is that they are being forced to move their processing down to a PC and expose it to all sorts of potential problems that range from a lack of speed, dependability, and security. Reason number 4, decrease in support or no support for your current system. This is another one that we've been seeing a lot of lately. Customers come to us because their existing vendor has changed its focus and is no longer investing into the platform that your company's livelihood thrives upon. And reason number 5, fragmented and piecemeal parts. Nothing like a little finger pointing, huh? Well, typically this is what happens, and it becomes real easy for vendors just to pass the buck. A seamlessly integrated solution with one call for service and support is most definitely the way to go. Okay, so the key thing to remember here is that Informed Decisions is 100% committed to the IBMi platform. This is our world. We love it. We talk the talk and we walk the walk. Something also to keep in mind is that we do offer trading credits for your existing document management package. We have successfully transitioned customers from ACOM, CreateForm, Quadrant, JetForm, RJS, FormSprint, and many more. If you have any questions or would like to learn a little bit more about our solutions and do some discovery, you can reach me here at 949-709-583 at extension 105. My email address is mike@informeddecisions, and I look forward to talking to some of you. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to Davis Yokana. He is one of our developers here and product managers, and he's going to be taking us through today's demo. If you guys have any questions at any point throughout the demo, just feel free to type them into the chat box on the lower right side of your screen. And at the end of the demo, we're going to go through and do some Q&A and get all of your questions answered for you. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and hand it over to Davis at this point.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very, very high level and very, very brief demonstration of the iDocs suite to give you a sense of what you can do with your data to intelligently route it and store it on the i. The basic the basic thing that you're trying to do with IBMi data is render it as an electronic document, and that usually involves adding graphics to it. What you see in front of you is a graphics designer that Informed Decisions markets, and it will provide all of your graphics needs. This is a simple invoice designed to serve basically as a graphical backplane to spool file data coming off of the I. And what you would do from here at this point, and it actually can be done with any graphical software, including our competitors' graphical design software, if you chose, would be just to print it to the iDocs driver, because when you do that, we import it into the iDocs suite, into our IMAP spool file mapper, and at that point you can work with it. So you can start with any piece of data. You can start with tax forms in PDF format that you get from the IRS. You can start with people's web pages. You can start with people's graphics from graphic designers, anything that you want. And then you pull down from your I a spool file, as I'm attempting to do here. And we'll go get it here. And this is just a graphical work spool file. Go ahead and select the spool file you'd like to do mapping with and pull it down. And at this point, doing the mapping is really as simple as outlining the text that you would like to map to output, dragging and dropping, something like that. Then you can right-click on it and select the kind of properties that you would like for this text block. Now you can define this as normal text. You can define this as microdata if you're building a check. You can define it as a smart routing key if you're going to be using it to do lookups from tables. If you're scraping email information directly from the spool file, you can define this that way, although normally we would pull that in from a table. Similarly with fax, similarly with print queues, you can scrape these directly from the text if you chose. If it is text, you can change the font. You can make it bold, italic, change the font size, and if you chose, change the color. We're not going to do purple for real, but just for this one example, I'll show it to you in purple. And then you can change the line spacing, move it over a little bit, and you're kind of done with that field. Now, people spend a great deal of time on spool file mapping because everybody wants to get it just perfect. This is a little bit better example that I did before the start of the webinar, but this gives you the idea of basically how simple it is. And when you're done, you just upload this definition to the I, and you're ready to go. As soon as that pops up, you could overwrite and choose something. You could say upload the form, upload the map, backside, front side, because we do duplex, form or check. It should recognize if it's a form or a check automatically, but you can override that. And you have to type that correctly. Excuse me. You do have to learn to type. And up it goes if you wanted to use it. So on the I, moving to a version of this that I uploaded previously, you have a definition that looks like this, and this is the green screen interface to the I that typically only the administrator sees. We are typical middleware. It's the end user is never really going to know we're there. So what we've done is we've created a definition. These are the mapped fields that we defined, including one that I've redefined here to use as a table lookup. And then what I did was I went into the routing definition. I selected a value off of the spool file to use as a table lookup value. I have a file out there that is meant to serve as an ERP customer master. And I said in that file, there is a customer email address, and we will use that for the delivery target for email. And then I went into email settings, and I said that there is a preferences field in there, and I said when it is equal to an E, we will email. You can do this. The logic of this is email and or fax and or print. So you can do all of these simultaneously or any number of them based on the contents of the spool file or the contents of the table. And then I keyed some other overrides, but we're generally taking most of our email information from iMail, which I'll show you in a minute. And that's when, so now you have the routing for your document set up. So in the document which we defined in IMAP, we've established email and PDF as the output target. We've established a graphical backplane. We've established spool file mapping, and with our option 14, we've established routing. So that would seem it to be at least everything that we would need, except that most people really don't want to do this manually. So we set up a batch process, and this is designed to run at a batch subsystem. It will connect to up to 9,999 different out queues with a data queue. A data queue is an IBM i5OS pipe, and our engine will block until the operating system notifies it that a spool file has been released into the out queue. That's an important concept because our batch processes, our engines, our monitors will not periodically poll an out queue or enumerate the contents of an out queue. These things take CPU cycles. Our engines block until the operating system tells us, A, there's something to do, and B, it gives us the identity of the spool file. We don't have to go looking for it, we're given it. And then we make some decisions, the engine makes some decisions. But we do not periodically poll or enumerate the contents of an output queue. We can monitor up to 9,999 different queues in one engine. You can define up to 9,999 different engines. That's enough for most people. What our engines do is they test the contents of an external spool file attribute. They test that against a value you supply. So here I've said that the spool file name is Acme invoice data. And then I define what definition I would like to be invoked as when that test is true, and what do I want done with the results when the processing is finished. Start form def means refer to the invoice definition for routing, and we set that up to look in the table. The table that we're referencing is right here. We're scraping our customer number from the spool file. We're doing a lookup and we're pulling back my email address after testing the contents of our customer preferences column right there, looking for an E. And that's how that works. And it lives in a batch subsystem right here. Most people will put it into their startup program or put it in as a scheduled job. It runs in the background. Your users never know it's there. They just know that they create a spool file, which is generated as SCS, but what they actually get is a graphical document in print, via fax, or via email. And just to complete the process, I'll take the spool file and move it into the out queue. And that's it, and that's the last your user would see of it until they got the graphical document. Now, that is designed to show you how quick and easy it is. Obviously, you can make a complex case out of anything, but it is at its heart that easy. Now, that's one component of the iDocs suite, is that we generate documents. We take your spool file content, we render it graphically, we deliver it intelligently. What do you do with it at that point? And it becomes part of a retrieval scenario. And that scenario is that you've got documents on the I that you're generating with iDocs, and you've got documents coming in from the enterprise, which you are capturing with a module called iCapture, and iCapture can take input from scanners and input from PDF, will monitor a directory, and will process them unattended in batch mode and push them into a retrieval function. At the same time that your outqueue monitors in the iDocs suite are generating documents from spool files, and likewise can be not just delivering them to email, to fax, and to print, but can also be delivering them to archive. And in that scenario, you then have what you're presenting to the user is a retrieval situation where they've got documents coming in from all sources and they're retrieving it in one place. What you see in front of you is that one place. iView is an archive retrieval package that runs under Tomcat, which means it will run anywhere, including your I. And it is designed, its backend lives on the I, and it is an IBMi-based archive retrieval tool. And the front end to that is used by the end user is a browser-based application. So the user logs in, and the user sees a list of document definitions to which that profile has been granted access. The default access is no access. So you have security. We're authenticating against their profile on the IBMi. You do not have to establish a separate profile. You always could, but you don't have to. So there is not, so that they are, they're logging in as their IBMi persona, so to speak. And then they would select the archive in which they would like to do a search, and then they enter a search string or no search string if they really wanted. This is designed to work like Google, so it will seem somewhat similar. And you get a search result, and just like Google, you get a search context. I'm having trouble highlighting here, apologies. You get a search context summary. In other words, just as when you search in Google, you get a little paragraph that shows you the context of your search hit. So you get some metadata here that tells you something about the document that you have a search hit on. In this particular case, that metadata was scraped from the spool file. It could have been captured via OCR from iCapture. And then the user just clicks on the link and brings up a PDF document in their browser. Now this is important. What we've done is we've taken the user, we've told them to start their browser, we've given them a URL, and then we've told them to do something that's highly intuitive. Go search and retrieve a document. Most people already know how to do that because they're used to working with Yahoo and with Google and with Bing. So the training involved here is much reduced over a custom archive application. We've told them to use a piece of software that's already there. You don't have to go around installing a client. And we're handing them a document that's in a very usable format, PDF. This is a standard PDF document. You can do anything with that. You can download it to your desktop, print it, attach it to an email, anything you want. It's a standard web format. PDF, after all, stands for portable document format. It is portable. So that is basically the use case right there for using iView. It's easy. It doesn't take any setup. It doesn't really take any training. You just more or less just point the user at it and the user goes. And that works well. Now, these documents that I'm retrieving are actually stored on the I. When we take documents in from spool file, when we take documents in from iCapture and create PDF documents with metadata, we're storing them in the integrated file system. You can map that to another location if you wish. You can store it on a Windows server, on a Linux server, on an AIX server, and pull it in over the network. But the fundamental point that we're starting with is the integrated file system on the IBMi. That gives you some very nice response times and keeps you in an IBMi native environment, which some people like because of the increased security in a web situation. In terms of searching, we offer you an enhanced search capability in a cross-archive search. If you have, in this case, two archives, I've got an invoice, but I know there's a check out there that paid the invoice. They share a piece of common data, which is the invoice number. How do I see them both in one context? And the answer is with that little click right there. It does a cross-archive search. Click on the link, and here is the check that paid that one document that was open in my search results screen. Not a error. There you are, a check. This idea of a context, an automatic context to a search is not limited to just two documents. It could be many documents. And so if you've got many documents, many different archives that can all be related. And if you think of something like a web transaction where you may have 15 different documents related to one transaction over the web, with one click, you can display all of the individual documents that are related to a particular transaction. And the point of entry into that search is any of those documents, because once you search on any of them, you do the cross-archive search and see all of them. That is a time saver and an organization saver for iView. And then we offer a few other simple options here which are quite helpful. We offer the ability to annotate. We don't update the document, we update a table and associate it with the document. But it allows you to do customer support. So think of, for example, if you are creating invoices and you're emailing them out in batch, you've got a 10,000 invoice run, and you do that and you start it at 5 p.m. It's done by 9 or 10 p.m. It's going out via email. And the following day, it's in iView. It's in iView in the graphical format that was emailed to the customer. The customer calls in, your CSR pulls up the invoice on iView. The customer has a few questions. The CSR makes a few notes, puts the notes right here. They are now associated with that particular invoice. And the ability to email, to originate an email with this document automatically attached. You can always download it to the desktop if you wished. You can access the iMail address book if you chose for those customers running iMail. You can always delete these documents separately out of an archive if you have write access, which of course you don't want to give everybody. So that's really almost the center of the iDocs suite, is your ability to not just generate documents, not just deliver them intelligently, but your ability to archive them and recall them in an easy to set up fashion, in an intuitive fashion, and in a cost-effective fashion. I think, Mike, that is the high-level summary.
Okay, great job, Davis. Hopefully everybody found his presentation to be very informative. At this point, let's get over and to the question and answers and see if we've got any questions that have come through. At this point, I'm not seeing any, but let's just wait a second and see if anyone has any questions. If you guys do, this would be a great time just to go ahead and type those in, and we'll get, we'll respond right back to you here. Okay, not seeing anything come through. Anybody, any questions? Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have any questions. I guess at this point we will just go ahead and conclude today's webinar. I'd like to thank everybody again for attending. And again, if there's any questions that you have, please feel free to contact me at 949-709-5838, extension 105. Again, this is Mike Donkles, the National Accounts Manager here at Informed Decisions. And I can also be reached at mike@informeddecisions.com. Okay, folks, with that being said, we hope you all have a great day, and we look forward to hearing from you. Goodbye.